شيع نعش الطاهرة المظلومة، شيع نعش الطاهرة المظلومة، داعة الله صيحوا يا مهضومة، داعة الله صيحوا يا مهضومة، شيع نعش الطاهرة.
الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، والصلاة والسلام على حبيب قلوبنا وشفيع ذنوبنا أبي القاسم محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Dear respected scholars, dear respected brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum jami'an wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The Almighty Allah Azza wa Jal says in the Holy Quran, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ونريد أن نمن على الذين استضعفوا في الأرض ونجعلهم أئمة ونجعلهم الوارثين ونمكن لهم في الأرض ونري فرعون وهامان وجنودهما منهم ما كانوا يحذرون. صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات. Dear brothers and sisters, once again, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And I thank each and every one of you that made the time tonight to come here. I know it's freezing cold outside and it's a Thursday night, so you took it on as a responsibility of yours to attend here, to come together so we can commemorate, so we can bring to remembrance, so we can rekindle, so we can relive, so we can understand, so we can connect, so we can build a relationship between us, ourselves as individuals, and as a community, and with a person, with an individual. To understand this individual, to understand this person who lived many years ago, but her light existed before all of us and continues to live and give living to all of us through her teachings, through her understanding, through what she said, through what she did. We talk here about tonight about this lady, the daughter of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alih, the wife of Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, the mother of Al-Imamain Al-Hasan wal-Husayn alayhim salam. We're talking about the mother of Lady Zainab alayhi salam. Just mentioning these names and to know the relationship she has to all of them. She is the mother of the Imams alayhim salam, Hujajullah ala al-khalq, the proofs of Allah Azza wa Jal on this earth. It is worth it. We are the beneficiaries of this, of benefiting, of understanding, of knowing, of learning, and being and standing before her O Lady Zahra salamullahi ta'ala alayha. So not only in this life we can benefit, but we can pave our way in the hereafter to say, O Lady Zahra, we knew you in this life and we want to continue to benefit from you in the hereafter. This presence today is not about today alone. When you come here and you can benefit and learn from Lady Zahra alayhi salam, look at the multidimensional benefits that you have. You learn from what she did at her time. We're not going to even talk about her presence and her existence in the form and the domain of lights. We're not going to talk about that right now. We're not going to talk about what she means to us, our mere existence and what it means to that. We're not going to talk about that. But at the time of her life, she lived, she did things, she said things. Today, until today, her words and her actions live in each and every one of us. And each and every one of us can benefit from her. This is really why we are here today. To learn and to understand at the time when it happened, why it happened, what it meant, but more than that, how can we understand that and bring it to life today through our actions? How can we relive the words of Lady Zahra alayha salam, her position and what she is at her time and what she was at her time and what she is today plays an important role, because after all, she is amongst the Immaculates alayhim salam. She is the mother of the Immaculates alayhim salam. She is a proof of Allah Azza wa Jal. She is the daughter of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. And one should understand each and every step of history, her history. Because understand one thing, the saying goes, if you do not learn from history, you shall repeat it yourself. And today, the state we're in, as Muslims, as individuals, we are living the mistakes. We are repeating the mistakes. Why do you think we're in this state today? Why do you think today we have individuals, candidates, the Republican candidates today are taking hits and jabs at us as Muslims? Why? Because they know they can, and they know we won't do anything. That's a problem. Why? It is something that we need to change in ourselves. Lady Zahra alayha salam, when we talk about her, we're talking about something big, something huge. It's more than just a person who lived at a certain time. The personality is bigger than that time. The ideas that she had, the ideas that she was a collection of ideas that she practiced and she lived. These are the ideas, the principles and the concepts. How do I become these principles and concepts? Lady Zahra alayhi salam lived a life with purpose. That life she lived had purpose in it. When you look at the lives of the Imams and the Immaculates al-Ma'sumin alayhim salam, you see that they start at a point, and throughout their life it's progressive. It's movement towards something higher. It's a higher form of perfection. The Imams alayhim salam, some people have the idea the Imam is created and he doesn't have to do anything. The Imam is created and he cannot make any mistakes. The Imam alayhi salam, the Ma'soom alayhi salam, has a will. And it's his and her will that acts every single instant of their life to avoid the wrong with Allah's blessings, to avoid the sin. And that is why that will, that irada that they had, and Allah's knowledge of their will that they wanted, He wanted for them that perfection. Because in His knowledge, the best of all of His creation, in obeying Him and willing for themselves obedience to him would be whom? Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. And that's why Allah Azza wa Jal willed for them this purity. And they became the sign, and they became the role models that we follow. So now, what is the role of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam in our lives? What is truly the role of Lady Zahra alayhi salam in our lives, in each of our lives individually? See, when you look at the movement, the individual movement you have in your life, you ask yourself, every single day, in the many decisions that you make and amongst the many steps that you make, you are an individual. As an individual, you are forced, whether you like it or not, you have to make decisions. These decisions measure up to something. They end up producing something. As an individual, these decisions affect you, and also you don't live in isolation. You live in a community, in a group. You live in a family, you go to work with a group, you come to a center with a group, and you affiliate with different groupings. When you go to a family, with your family, you have a common last name, right or wrong? Okay? When you're at work, there's a commonality. It's the company you work for, right? When you're identifying yourself in a city, they say these people are from this city, these people are from this company, these people are from this family, these people are from this center. But my question to you, the person you are, who you are, when you say I, what identifies you as a person, there are many different characters, many different attributes, many different labels you carry as you're being identified. You're an engineer, you're a doctor, you're a student, you're a male, you're a female, you're a Lebanese, you're an Iraqi, But then the question is, which one of these characteristics make up the person you really are? Which one of these characteristics are you? Is it one? Is it many? Are some superficial, some are core? What makes up your identity in all of this? If everything falls apart, what stays and identifies you as a person? Remember, I want you to ask yourself, you as a person today standing here, who are you? The who are you is a question that has to occupy your mind all the time. You might be very busy every single day making a living, getting a degree. We get so busy doing things. We lose our I, who we are. How do we lose it? Actually, we don't lose it. What we're doing is we are creating an I. We're developing the I. But sometimes we are in control of this development. Other times, we're not in control of this development. What do I mean by that? I go to work, I have to study, I have to make a living, I have to do this, I have to do that. All I'm doing, I'm being driven. I am part of a very well-oiled machine that's driving me from day to night. Go to sleep and wake up in the morning. I have to do this. I don't take the time to say, hold on. Is this movement something I want in the direction that I want? Or no, I am being forced subconsciously into it. I watch the TV that is being imposed on me. I'm going through the environment and atmosphere that when do I step out and say, no, hold on. Hold it. I'm not going to do this. I'll tell you the moments you find this movement. You're in an airport in a place like Salt Lake City, for example, okay? Where you don't see but a certain ethnicity, a certain color, a certain type of people. And you know, if you get on the plane right now, you're going to miss your prayers, and you have to pray. This is a time you have to pray. And everyone looks at you and you look like them. There are no distinguishing factors, your looks, your colors, everything the same. But suddenly you do something. Everyone smiles to you. Everyone greets you. Everyone talks to you. But the moment you stand and you put down your prayer rug and you put your sajda, your turba, and you say, Allahu Akbar, suddenly everyone around you looks at you suspiciously. Some look at you interestingly. Some of them are just trying to understand, what is this? What's happening right now? Right at this moment, at the moment you said Allahu Akbar and you directed yourself, you took off your shoes, they're looking, what is he going to do? You're building up to something. They are not identifying with what you're doing. So what is happening here? There's a form of identity formation and recognition happening here. You are showing part of your identity to them. The moment you show in an atmosphere that you has a certain culture, and you bring something different, an act that is not normal to them. On the contrary, this act, some might fear it, some might have a misinformation about this act. What possessed you at this point to stand and break or come out of this, do something different within the culture, within the norms that are there, and say Allahu Akbar and stand? Now, finish your prayer and look up. Do they smile at you the same way they smiled before your prayers? Do they talk to you the same way they did before your prayers? That, by the way, is a decision we make. They don't. It's a mistake to let people dictate actions. You can drive a reaction based on the action that you take. Let's not be always reactionary. Let's not always wait for something to happen and then we do something. No, let's drive something. When I said the whole idea of your identifying, there's something you identified with. Why did you pray? You prayed because there's a principle you identify with. That which took you out of the norm, kind of broke some of the norms that are everyone expecting. It's something you feel strong about. It's a behavior you carried because there's an idea behind that behavior. Behaviors, by the way, don't come out of thin air. Behaviors are a result of a feeling, and a feeling is a result of a thought. That's how it goes. What is that thought? The thought is tawheed. The feeling is your affinity and love of obedience, at-ta'ah. The action is what? Al-ibadah, the actual worship, the ritual. Look at that. The idea itself is the beginning of the first step into identity formation and creation. I believe in an idea. That idea, I thought of it so much. I thought of it until it moved me. It made me think so deeply that I interacted with that idea. That idea, it truly took hold of me and I acted on it. I actually prayed. Why? I want to show that I am obedient, muti' in the form of ibadah, worship, ritual. That, dear brothers and sisters, whether you're in the US of A, by the way, let me tell you one thing. Believe it or not, I had no problem in Salt Lake City, where it's mostly Mormons, praying at a certain time. And when I was done, I folded my rug, took my turba, and sat down, looked around. I smiled, everyone smiled at me. It was a comfortable scene. Some people were like a little bit, you know. But when I took my laptop, it was a brand new laptop, so everyone's like, he has hope in life, he'll be good. It was normal. But you know what was the worst? It was not when I prayed at Salt Lake City. It's when I prayed somewhere else in the Middle East. When I prayed in the airport, the Doha airport. You know, we were a few people. We started praying. At that time, we put the turba to pray. You know how much we heard as people were coming in, commenting on the fact that we had a turba on the floor to pray? It's interesting to see how people in a so-called Islamic country react to your prayers versus the people in a so-called non-Islamic country react to you. We're not going to go into those details right now. But what is the point here? The formation of identity. Who am I? First and foremost, my identity, first and foremost, I identify myself as a muwahhid, monotheist. I believe in one God. That's the first step in my identity. Now, you look at me, Haider. Who are you? The first thing I identify with, and I want to show that I am what? Muwahhid, ashhadu an la ilaha. I believe in there is no God but God, except He, Allah. Now the question is, it's a huge statement. To identify it further, I chose the way to interpret and understand this tawheed, because with ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, you identify either you're what? You could be a Christian, you could be a Jew, you could be a Muslim, but I identified with ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Right now I created a narrower position to show what? My identity. I'm narrowing it down. But the interpretation of what does it mean to believe in Allah and in Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, I chose to follow and I chose to identify with ashhadu anna aliyan waliyullah. Why? This is the formation of an identity. This is whether I am in the North Pole or the South Pole, whether I'm in India, China, Russia, or America, this is me. You do not take this away from me. No matter what geography you put me in, it doesn't matter to me Iraq from beginning to end, or Saudi Arabia from beginning to end. They really don't matter to me. You know what matters to me? The house of Allah Azza wa Jal, the grave of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the shrine of Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, the shrine of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. This to me is a priority. When I need to make a decision, to me that becomes why? Because that is a formation of identity. That's me. My thoughts, my ideas. Now hold on. But also, I lived in many different places. I lived in the Gulf, I lived in Iraq, I lived in different states and places. And I lived in the United States of America. Which of the geographies had an impact on me as a person? Some might say, when I lived in Lebanon, my culture, my habits were a result of that environment. It shaped who I am, right? Maybe you lived also in Egypt. It shaped who you are. Maybe you lived in Iran, Iraq, whatever it is. Or maybe you also lived where? In the United States of America, and it shaped who you are. Each geography creates a culture and has a heritage. We're going to talk about it in later days, inshallah, nights. Today, I am impacted by some great characteristics and attributes that this geography gives me, where I am today in the United States of America. And that's why I also identify myself with, I am an American. I'm a Muslim. I'm a follower of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. I'm a proud Shia. No question about that. I'm an American also. It means that I gained something from this geography that made me who I am. Being in this community, in this geography, I get to choose one of a few things. I can isolate myself from the surrounding people. I do not do anything with anyone. Can I survive in here if I isolate myself? I don't think so. Or I can be in a geography, but this geography, the people around me, they don't like me, they marginalize me. I want to do something, no you can't. They don't allow me to do things. Marginalization took place where? Even if you look at followers of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, the Shia in some of the countries, in many of the countries, they were marginalized. They were not given the opportunity. They tried, they were not given. Now, the other option is you're not marginalized, but no, actually, you become part of the society. But in what form? You assimilate. It means you give up everything. What happens is you're in a geography, in a certain community. You come in that community and you just take everything from that community, that culture, and never add anything to it. You just take everything, you become whatever they give you. The I, you don't have a control over it. You want me to walk this way, I'll walk this way. You want me to dress this way, I'll dress this way. You want me to wear pants and have my legs, I'll do it. You want me to wear tight because of I'll do it. You want me to do this, you want me to walk a certain way, you want me to left. You know how some people say, man, what's wrong with you? Why do you become so much like you don't know who you are anymore? Why? They assimilate to a point, they lose who they are. In a reality, that becomes them. You know what's the problem with these kind of people? Wherever you put them, they change. They don't have a personality of their own. You put them in America, they become something. You put them in Iraq, they become something. You put them in Lebanon, they become something. Who are they? They're nothing. They're no one. They're no one. They don't have a color to them. They're unseen. They mean nothing. If you're like that, if you assimilate to that point where you're nothing, you mean nothing. You're worth nothing, and you have no value. Other people, they don't assimilate. What do? They integrate. What does that mean? They become part of the community. They're part of the geography, but they maintain their identity. Look at you right now today. You're part of the geography, you're part of the community, but also the way you dress, the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you address your religious character, what you do, what you say. You integrated. You became part of something, but you maintained an identity. When are you able to maintain an identity? When you have something besides your geography. To me, my faith, my religion, the ideas, the thoughts it gave me, in my religion, the power of my religion, and why my geography, wherever I'm at, should be proud and should care for my religion. Why? Because my religion says, care for your geography. If you're in a community, if you're in a society that gives you, give it back. If you're benefiting, benefit it back. Imam Sadiq in many of the ahadith, what does he say? If you're in anywhere, any community, be the best in that community. The honest, you're the most honest. The trustworthy, you're the most trustworthy. Let not anyone else beat you to it. Let them say, these are the followers of Ja'far as-Sadiq. Isn't that beautiful? That's powerful. At this point, the Imam Islam says, not even integration is not enough. You need to move to that final stage. What is that? It's called empowered. You're not only integrated, but you're actually empowered. You're not just taking, okay, I have a center here, alhamdulillah, I have my identity, I kept it. No. You need to lead the community. You're so good, the best comes from here. You're so good, the leadership comes from here. You're so good, the brightest comes from here. You're so good, the smartest comes from here. When the community has a problem, we solve the problem. We don't only solve our problem, but we solve everyone's problem. That's how we become leaders in our community. That's how we become empowered. We look at our Imam Salamullahi Ta'ala alayhim, and in these coming nights we will talk about this issue in more details. And what are we supposed to be doing? How are we supposed to progress as individuals and as a community? Lady Zahra alayhi salam, what examples gave us in her life so we can benefit from? You know, dear brothers and sisters, this is a big responsibility. This is nothing to take lightly. Because some of us live in the mentality that we are foreigners to this geography. But our children are being raised here. Some of us, our grandchildren are being raised here. We buy the houses. We are buried here, some of our families. And we're here to stay. And here allows you to do many things. Here allows you to grow. The opportunities are open. You really have the options. What should we do as a community? What should we do as individuals? Dear brothers and sisters, Ahlul Bayt Salamullahi Ta'ala alayhim went through so much struggle in their lives. For what purpose? Why? For themselves? Definitely they knew who they are. But they're also examples to us when we go through the struggle. What should we do? Do you think Zahra and Amir al-Mu'mineen Salamullahi Ta'ala alayhim, they isolated themselves away just because whatever happened in the beginning and they said, okay, we have nothing to do with the community? They were in the center of everything. They did not let go. Az-Zahra Salamullahi Ta'ala alayha, and what can we say about her? You know, dear brothers and sisters, if we want to talk about Lady Zahra, where do we start? Where do we end? Who do we mention? Do we talk about Lady Zahra alayha salam? From the moment she was born, when she was with her mother, Lady Khadija alayha salam, how she lived with her father, what she saw from the people of Quraysh, what she saw as her father was spreading the message of Allah, what happened when they moved to Medina. Should we tell you the struggles of Lady Zahra when she was with Imam Ali alayhi salam? What happened to her after the departure of the Holy Prophet? Should we mourn Lady Zahra as she saw, as she knew what would happen to her beloved ones, to Imam Hassan, to Imam Hussein, to Lady Zainab alayha salam? What tears should we drop? What cries should we shed? What poems should we read? What should we say and mourn? We mourn her father, Prophet Muhammad. We mourn her husband, Imam Ali. We mourn her son, Imam Hassan. We mourn her son Imam Hussein, or we mourn Lady Zainab. Dear brothers and sisters, Az-Zahra alayha salam, we are mourning her, Ya Zahra, Ya Zahra, Ya Zahra. Allahumma bihaqq Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Accept the little we are offering these nights. Accept them. Accept the little we are offering, Ya Allah. Forgive us our sins. Forgive the sins of those deceased ones, believers, men and women. And accept all, and let's offer the blessings of the recitation of our majlis and Surah Al-Fatiha for their souls after Salat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
نعش الطاهرة المظلومة، شيع نعش الطاهرة المظلومة، داعة الله صيحوا يا مهضومة، داعة الله صيحوا يا مهضومة، شيع نعش الطاهرة